Hello, my name is Richard Kent, and today I want to tell you that human lungs never evolved in the primordial slime, which is what the evolutionists want us to believe. That's absolute rubbish. Human lungs are actually very complicated. What they actually do is take in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. Of course, the oxygen comes from the all green plants, trees, flowers, grass, from photosynthesis. Anyway, our lungs are actually two large organs with a surface area about the size of 2 tennis courts. Large surface area, and within the mitochondria, that's the energy production of all our cells, is something really important which I'll talk about in a different fun fact, called the Krebs citric acid cycle. This is how energy is produced in our mitochondria, and all you need to know is what is required is sugar, glucose, and oxygen. Sugar and oxygen, and our lungs are how we get the oxygen out of the air. Now, God has created our lungs as spongy tissue, and we have a thoracic cage which moves upwards and outwards as we breathe in, and downwards and inwards as we breathe out. And at the same time, the diaphragm moves upwards or downwards, which causes these spongy lungs to take in air and then breathe air out. There is a picture of what lungs look like, and there's literally miles and miles of air passages called bronchi, bronchioles, and they finish up with an alveoli. Now, the heart and the lungs are very close to each other, and they're very important for each other because the lungs are absolutely necessary to extract oxygen from the air, and the heart cannot survive at all without oxygen from the lungs. And the lungs can't survive with blood from the heart, otherwise the lung tissue will die. So there you have another example of irreducible complexity. You can't have heart without the lungs, and you can't have the lungs without the heart. I want to talk now about the alveoli, which are the little air sacs, tiny little air sacs like little bubbles. And that's where the interchange happens, so that oxygen is taken out of the air and carbon dioxide is removed from the blood into the alveoli and expelled from our mouths and noses. So there is a picture, a microscopic picture of blood vessels going through tiny little blood vessels, smaller than a strand of hair, and those red blood cells collect oxygen from the alveoli, the air sacs. And there actually is an air sac, and the important thing I want to tell you about an air sac is something really dramatic happens in those air sacs. There's something called surfactant, which is a detergent, a bit like fairy liquid. It's God's fairy liquid. And when baby takes his or her first breath, the alveoli expand and stay expanded, as you can see at the bottom of that image. If they didn't stay expanded, they would contract, as in the bottom right, and the alveoli wouldn't work, so we wouldn't be able to exchange gases. So the surfactant is vitally important as a deterrent to lower the surface tension in the alveoli, so that when baby takes his or her first breath, the little air sacs stay expanded. Also in the surfactant are lots of white cells and much more besides to keep invading pathogens, bacteria, viruses, fungi, and everything else away from the human body. God has actually put something else in there, vitally important, called your epiglottis, which is a flap over your trachea, your windpipe, so that food and liquid doesn't go down into your lungs when you swallow liquid or eat food. In addition, we have a further mechanism in our larynx called If we were to inhale a fly, I used to do a bit of running, and occasionally I would inhale a fly. Fortunately, God has put a laryngeal reflex in, so that if we were to inhale a fly, it will not go down into our lungs, it'll go into our stomach, because those vocal cords will slam very tightly shut to prevent anything inhaled going down into our lungs. No, our lungs are irreducibly complex. They were perfectly designed by God to do what they're supposed to do, and there's no way they could possibly have evolved by chance in a primordial slime. Thanks for listening, and God bless.